A group of us work buddies used to go out to this nice Mexican restaurant once a week, and every time we did, one of the guys, instead of ordering any of the fancy, delicious custom tacos, he'd always get plain American style, normal beef, lettuce, and cheese. And we always used to give him crap. We used to say, "Come on, man, there's all these cool tacos, there's all this unique stuff. Why are you just getting that?" And he would tell us, that's just what makes me happy. I don't enjoy the other stuff. I just want to get these. Leave me alone. And that's, if you're a car person, that's how you need to look at the Nissan Kicks. If someone wants a Kicks, let them get the Kicks. It's a good car. Just let them be happy. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we're out driving the 2022 Nissan Kicks. I've had this car for about a week or so, and spent a little time with it. Actually spent a good amount of time with it, and we've had it before as well, so this is sort of a Kicks redux. Not really too much has been done to the Kicks since it came out to replace the Nissan Juke. It's still kind of the like bland, but also trying to be fun and spunky, youthful entry-level crossover. And at the end of the day, it's hardly even a crossover. It's really just a lifted hatchback. But it does a pretty good job at that. Because it is front-wheel drive only, you do get a good amount of space in this car. It's decently efficient. And most importantly, it's just inoffensive and affordable. And that's what a lot of people need in this current day and age where cars are rapidly increasing in price. Last I saw, the averaged new car transactions about $45,000, and people are financing things way out 8 or 9 years, which is just crazy for a vehicle. It really is. The Kicks allows people to get back to something that makes a little bit of sense. It's just what you need. It really is. And a little bit more than that as well, as we'll talk when we're driving with some of the features in this SR trim. But Nissan did a pretty good job at trying to kind of stand out a little bit. You got this multicolor interior. In fact, if you get all the way in, there's actually a good amount more room in this car than a subcompact or even a compact hatchback or sedan. Good amount of knee room at 5'10", good amount of headroom as well. You're not going to get this in something like a Mazda 3 hatch, even though the Mazda might be better to drive, better looking, nicer inside. It's not going to optimize that efficiency, if you will, with space. Whereas back here you get 2 USB-A ports. These are A's, right? Yeah, 2 USB-A ports. And no flip down armrest, but as an adult I could genuinely be back here for a length of time rather than just kind of being smushed in. Not even going to bother to show the engine. It exists. It motivates the car. That's about all it does. Once you get into the front up here, you do start seeing a lot of the stuff that people want in a new car. If they're making the splurge to get a new vehicle rather than just buy something used, they're going to want to feel like they're getting something to justify that. And in here, in this top SR trim, you're getting heated steering wheel, 2-stage heated seats in the front, automatic climate control, a relatively decent Bose audio system with 2 speakers in the seats, push button start, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support, even though it is just wired. Side note, if you do want to see any in-depth review on the infotainment system, the sound system, or our highway fuel economy, check the links in the description. We've got separate videos for those. All that you really need to know about the powertrain is it's a small motor married up to what they call a CVT, or continuously variable transmission. It's not automatic. It doesn't have any real gears in it. But for some reason, Nissan made it seem like it does. So if I pull out on this road here and get on the gas, it puts in these fake shifts. Apparently people seem to like that better. I don't know. I would just rather it go and be smooth and as innocuous as possible, but it works. It gets the car up and going. It's not exactly fast, about 120 horsepower, pretty low for this segment, pretty low just in general, but you can drive the car around. It's plenty of torque, and because of the transmission that can kind of go around wherever it needs to. There's plenty of power to get up to speed. It's just not going to be exciting. It's purely just to get the car going. From the driver's seat, even with the seat in its lowest position, this is a manual seat, even in this top trim. You sit high up. You sit as though this were a golf cart, as Chris Brower said, or a go-kart. The steering column kind of comes up at you, and you kind of steer down onto it, if you will. It's not uncomfortable. It's just a little different than something you might sit more into and have the controls kind of come out at you. Instead, you feel like you're getting down onto it. Not bad, just a little bit of getting used to. I don't appreciate how the shifter, if you bring it all the way back trying to go to drive, you often go into L accidentally. It's a super minor complaint. I like when vehicles don't easily go down into L and just go right into drive. Pretty small nitpick there though. You have a handle right here, which I like to have on the driver's side, and you also have a small bit of extendo for your sun visor. The whole thing doesn't pull out, but at least there's something there to block a little extra sun. No sort of driving modes either, so no sport mode. If I want to drive aggressively here, I just got to put my foot down. I don't know if we're going to be able to beat this Tahoe. Foot to the floor. Oh, we're going to, but it's not going to be easy. Alright, toss it into guardrail here. The suspension's actually pretty good in this car, and part of that is because they didn't decide to put some god-awful large wheels on this car and get rid of the sidewall. There's a good amount of sidewall in the tire, and it's a pretty low tire pressure as well. I want to say it's 32 PSI if I remember correctly. So, if you have your tires set at the proper inflation, the ride's pretty good. And what I mean is the ride is pretty good. It rides well. Rough road section. A little bit of a rattle inside the cockpit here, even at 1,000 miles, but not bad. But man, is it a dog when you get on it. It's got to be one of the slower cars on the market today. Up here, about 55 miles per hour. Revs settle right down. There's a good amount of road noise. Wind noise isn't too bad though. The controls are really straightforward in this car, and I really appreciate that. All the vents, I like these turny ones that you can kind of angle every which way. Real volume knob, real physical manual, or not even manual, but just physical climate controls. The heated steering wheel gets remarkably warm. I mean, we're talking hot to the hand, like oof type of warm. In fact, I was driving the other day and the sun was beaming in on the steering wheel as well as the heated steering wheel being on, and it hurt to touch. It was very, very hot. So that's, I mean, kind of nice in the colder weather, that's for sure. But right now I have it on because my hands are a little cold, but it's borderline too hot to touch. Another thing that I appreciate about the Kicks that you wouldn't really get from just an initial drive, but after spending a little bit more time with it, everything's solid in this car. It's chunky, and that speaks to a lot of people in what they might perceive as quality, and I think could go as far as to be quality. Everything is really, really tight and feels good. The turn signal stock is beefy. The buttons click nicely and turn, and there's a mixture of nicer leather materials and plastics. It does feel like a well put together machine, and you're not always going to get that at this price point. This one coming in about $25,000 fully loaded out, and again, you can get some $25,000 vehicles. You can get in $40,000 vehicles that don't feel put together well like this does. The throttle is jumpy. It's tough to get a nice smooth departure away from a stop sign or a stoplight. You do have to be very gentle with it. Avoid a kind of a jumping in sensation. It's minor, but it is something I've picked up on. GTR, look at that! A Nissan GTR and a Nissan Kicks. Should we race them? Be like, that's the cool, bad older cousin who introduces the Kicks to cigarettes at 16. Here at highway speeds, you do have adaptive cruise control and a fairly rudimentary lane departure warning. No real sort of assist, but if I set the adaptive cruise, it settles in. One thing that Nissan does in a lot of cars that I don't appreciate is it's slowing itself down around the corner on cruise control. So even though I had the cruise back there set at about 72, it was slowing down to 68 or 69 or so as I went around the corner. All the way back to my older Infinity back in the mid-2000s, the cruise control would do that. And I can't remember if it's just with adaptive cruise or if it's with even the manual cruise. Why? Why are you stopping? What are you doing? What? You're not supposed to stop. Jeez, come on, people. If anyone's watching, you don't stop in roundabouts. The people not in the roundabout yield for you. That's really frustrating. The Kicks is not the most exciting in this segment. Get yourself a Mazda CX-30 if you really value the driving experience and really nice interior materials and design. Get yourself a Volkswagen Taos if you really want to maximize your dollar, I'll say it. The Taos feels like a more expensive vehicle. It's also a little bit larger, a little bit more stylish as well. Get yourself a Toyota CHR if you have no taste but want your car to run for 300,000 miles with nothing but oil changes. But the Kicks fits into a spot of just, I like that car. If someone pulls up, if they're like, that one's cool, it fits my budget, I like the two-tone paint or something like that, then get yourself a Kicks. It's just, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly fine, good car, and it's a good car for someone who just doesn't care about their car. They just want something that's going to be practical, going to be affordable, going to be decently efficient, and most importantly, travel them and their stuff and their people in safety and comfort. That's what the Kicks does. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Kicks, like I said, we have a few other videos. I'll throw the links to those in the description. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.